Okay, so far I knocked off this bolt here, and this is a nut that hold a bracket here, and now I got to lose this bolt. This is a 14 millimeter like this one and like this one, but I don't have a deep 14 millimeter socket, so I have to go out and get that. And this side we have this is the power steering pump, and it has a bracket and a bolt in that bracket that you can get out with a wrench, 15 millimeter wrench. But I don't know if I can get the water pump out without taking the power steering pump out. I will try. I knocked that bolt loose, so when I get back with the deep 14 millimeter socket, I will get that bolt out. Okay, I had to get this bracket all the way off by removing the 14 millimeter bolt on the lower part of the alternator, and the brackets come off, and I have this side out, and now I need to focus on the other side where the steering pump is. Okay, now I have removed the upper nut here that holds the steering pump. It just dropped down, so it's out of the way. Now I remove this bolt here that holds the bracket of the alternator, but I need to take this bracket out in order to take the water pump out. So there is another bolt behind here. Is 13 millimeter bolt over here we need to take out, but in order to take that out you have a vacuum hose here that need to be disconnected, and you have this other hose here that goes here, so you disconnect that to move it out of the way. And this hose, and this is a mod I did back in the day. This is a coolant hose to preheat the intake air. Since I live in Puerto Rico, we don't need that because we don't have below zero temperatures, so I eliminated that hose. If you have that hose, you might need to get it off to get to this bolt on the back of the alternator. Just lose that bolt, lose the front bolt, and the whole bracket comes off. Now the alternator is out of the way, the bracket is completely off. I still have one bolt here that was behind the alternator bracket. I think that's the last one. I think I just unbolted everything off. So that's the last bolt, and then I'm going to remove the lower radiator hose from the pump, and then we just pull it out. Okay, I just pulled off the hose and the water is coming out to the floor. Now all there is to it is just taking the pump out with a hammer, something like that. Hi, I just found out there is one more screw on each side that I need to take out. This one here. Let me see if I can turn on the light on this phone. Okay, there's one bolt there. So you got the top one, the middle one, and the lower one. You got two here. You got one here and one here, and then you got this upper, and then you got between these two one underneath, and this side it's the same. You got the top one Where is my finger? Okay, this is the top one, the bottom one, and this one here. Okay, finally the water pump is out. You can see we have 3 bolts in each side. And it was leaking through this hole because every time a water pump is out of commission, somehow they leak through that hole. So that's how you know you have to change it. Now we need to clean where the gasket goes from the water pump and scrape it off. I have a wire disc for my drill. I will wire that out and then put the new one in. This is how it looks after scraping it off with a scraper. Now the wire comes in and leave it better. This is a wire wheel I use. That's the drill that I use. And that's how it ends up. See? Nice and clean. This is the new pump. That's the old pump. And they are exactly the same. Okay, right now I'm gonna put some sealant on this, even though it brought a gasket, just so it may stick, and any imperfection on this block that could not be filled with the gasket will be filled with this. But it's just a tiny amount all the way around, so not too much, because you could clog this with the sealer. And we will do the same to the pump to cover any imperfection that it might be there with a little bit of this. This is how it looks after I apply the sealant. You see, it's just a little bit like if you're just going to paint it, you know, just to see the color of the sealant. The main purpose is just to hold the gasket in place, and if there is any imperfection on the steel side, it will cover it with just a tiny bit amount. Now I'm gonna try to put it in. Sorry I can't take it with me, and in that I'll start with the middle bolts that I took last, and after I have put the water pump with the middle, we'll follow with the rest. I just put the 4 main bolts that holds the water pump to the block. Is this top one and the middle one. That was the last one I took off. In both sides you have, let me see if I can turn on the light, the top one and the middle one, and the same here, top one, middle one, and those are the bolts that hold the water pump to the block. All other bolts are just to hold the brackets of the accessories to the water pump.